In previous videos, we've talked about the medical benefits, we've talked about the mental benefits, we've talked about very clinical, studied approaches to what activity can do for you. I wanted to take it back a step and talk about something simpler, which is the effects it can have both mentally and physically for you going from being on the couch 24/7 or almost to actually being active and taking part in life in general. There's been lots of impact on my life, and I just want to share some of those with everybody watching. My name is Mark and I'm here to help you live a better, healthier life. My goal is to help as many people as I can get into shape and improve their quality of life. Now, if this is your first time here watching this video and you want to learn more about practical and effective ways to improve your health and fitness, then start now by hitting the subscription button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos going forward. And now, without further ado, let's jump right in. So I want to start this off by saying this is just my experience. As part of my kind of yearly review, I've been sitting there and having a bit of a think about the effect this has had, this journey has had, not just this last year, but for the few years before that, has had on my mental and physical health, where I am in the world basically, and where I'm trying to get to next. So part of this exercise is just looking back on where I've come from, what I've been doing, and where I'm going to for setting the next year's worth of goals. And there is quite a few things that have changed over the years. So little nice things, we've gone from morbidly obese to obese. That doesn't sound like a massive change, but it is mentally a massive change. But the one I've noticed the most is going from 4, 5, 6 XL shirts, 8 originally, down to comfortably buying a 2XL shirt from a supermarket store, which again probably doesn't sound like a huge amount, but that is a massive thing. It opens up the ability to buy some clothes. But these are all fairly superficial, fairly physical things that are very nice for me, and they make a massive difference to me. But what effect has that weight loss, that journey had? And that's what I wanted to talk about. So when I first started this, I was a lot heavier than I am now. I'm now sort of 21 stone. I started off at 33 stone. Although I didn't think I had any troubles in terms of getting on with life, I did. Things were harder. From putting your socks on in the morning to tying your shoes, everything took a bit more thought at that weight. It just takes a little bit longer. I could do it. I didn't think I was missing out, but I didn't really, you just got so used, you just got so used to being that way that you didn't really think about it. So one of the things that I have really noticed over this last year has been that those little things just get easier by increments. They're just a little bit easier. You do things now, I do things now, like putting on my shoes and putting on my socks without particularly thinking about it. It's not a planned exercise that I have to go, right, okay, how am I gonna do this? It just happens. I don't need to, to be fair, I haven't for quite a while, but I used to have to take breaks when doing things. So if I was cooking something that was taking more than 20 minutes, I'd find an excuse to sit down for a while. It wouldn't be a case of pull up a chair in the kitchen, but I'd go, I'll just do the first half of this and I'll go and sit down. I don't need to do any of that anymore. And that has a kind of impact in terms of those things that now take 20 minutes, half an hour, because I'm just getting on with it. They used to take 2 hours because I used to have I'd watch an episode of TV in the middle, and I'd go and sit on the couch for half an hour, 40 minutes, just to get a break. And I never particularly thought about it until recently, sitting there thinking, right, what's changed? What have I done differently? How is my life better? And I do think it is better for having lost that weight. I am still saying that I'm nowhere near perfect. This year, we'll talk about in the next video in terms of this year's goals and where I've got to, but it is not instant. It has taken many years to become a a rather large person, and it's going to take many years to become a slightly more normal sized person. But it's making that progress, and it's the impact it has. And one of the things, for me is that the exercise, you can talk about endomorphins and all the rest of it, but the exercise, is actually now enjoyable. Yes, I joke about it, and I'm only half joking that I am a sweaty mess when I do anything other than scuba diving. And to be perfectly honest, I'm probably a sweaty mess scuba diving. It's just the seawater washes it away so you don't notice. But it is one of those things that I am starting over the last probably 8 months maybe. I'm starting to get back into that, enjoying the physical activity, whatever that may be, and even contemplating adding new activities to my routine when I get back home to the UK. Because it is one of those things, I have found a few things that I just wanted to share, which is if you do not enjoy your activity, change it, because you will not do it as much as you probably should. So if you enjoy the gym, go to the gym. If you hate the gym, don't go. Find something else. Be it yoga at home, be it some sort of martial art, be it badminton with friends. I don't think it actually particularly matters. Obviously, pick an activity that suits your body type and body size. What I mean by that is, don't expect to be going to run a marathon if you're my size, because even if you could cardiovascularly, you will just knacker your knees. No other way for it. So pick a size appropriate activity, or try a few to find the one you like, but do the one that you enjoy, because you'll end up doing it far more because you actually enjoy it. And that's probably the thing I've learned the most over the last year. Because obviously with lockdowns and everything else going on, gyms were closed, you had to make do with what you could do. And some activities I found that I hated, and some activities I found that I quite liked. Skipping, can't do. Tried it, absolute failure. Boxing, I did that with with a trainer. Boxing, is not really for me. I know he wasn't hitting me back, it was just with pads and things. But just didn't feel the love, really didn't. On the island I'm on now, obviously scuba diving, but I'm also finding that I actually kind of like riding a bike. So that's something I may well be adding to my exercise regime when I'm back home. Although I'm not sure how my dogs will feel about chasing me on a bike, but we'll see how we get on with that. But it has had lots of effects. It is one of those things that as I have reduced in weight, not only has daily and normal activities become easier, less tiring, but also means that you can do more. I don't feel the need to have a rest on the couch in between doing something, because I'm not that tired. I am more physically fit, therefore I am able to do more, which means that I have the pleasure of doing more with my wife as well, in terms of going for longer walks together, actually getting out and about. It is becoming less of a challenge in terms of what we get up to, because physically I can do more, which is important. And Sarah's been along with this journey with me as well. Her fitness has got a lot better, in terms of the scuba diving and everything else. So as a couple, it's had a massive impact, both from physically being able to wear different clothes and do more, but also mentally being able to not worry about, am I going to need to have a break halfway through this? We took the dogs to Lake District just for a long weekend to get out, to get a different outside view. And you're not thinking they're going, oh, can I do this walk? Am I capable of doing this 2.5 hour walk? It was literally just a case of, right, which walk are we doing today? Make sure you had the right boots, make sure you had a coat, and off we went. Water for the dogs. Can't forget that. We got one of those portable bowls for the dogs. So it is one of those things that it is both mentally and physically something that has had a big impact over the last few years. And over this year, I've noticed a massive difference. I haven't done as well as I'd hoped and I'd planned, but I have reversed the trend that I was in last year in terms of COVID and putting the weight back on. So I have at least reversed that, and I am down. I'm just not as down as much as I would like to be. But we'll talk about that in the next video. I just wanted to talk today in terms of that whole process of reviewing where you are, being honest with yourself. And I've said this many times, you don't need to be honest with anybody else. You don't need to do this, because quite frankly, it's a little bit daft that I'm doing this, but it's the only way I could hold myself accountable. Because otherwise I just went into cheat mode and wasn't good. But I'm happy that things have gone the right direction over the last year. Not as right as I'd like, but we can work on that. It has gone in the right direction. I am more physically fit. I wouldn't have been capable, I don't think, a year ago on a regular basis being able to do 3 dives in a day. You know, that's 1,500 calories or thereabouts of physical activity every single day. And even now I'm tired doing it. I don't think I would have been able to keep on doing it a year ago. So things have improved. One other thing that I wanted to mention, which is something that's maybe overlooked for a lot of people. Being able to fit into smaller clothes, being able to do more without actually worrying about having to sit down or take a break, does have an impact mentally in terms of what you are willing to do, what you're able to do, and how much you enjoy what you are doing. And it should never be overlooked. You know, whether that's being more social, you know, with friends and family, whether that's meeting new people, because let's face it, sports are quite often a good way to meet new people, like-minded people. If you want to play badminton, it's lovely if your partner wants to play with you or a friend, but it's also really nice to go and, you know, have a leisurely game with a social club. You know, you don't need to be trying to get to the Olympics, just there are loads of social clubs out there for pretty much everything. You just need to go and find it. And you'll meet like-minded people that you will socialize with that will be beneficial to you in terms of doing that activity and sharing that activity with you that you wouldn't have otherwise. So not only can it have a really good physical impact on you and what you can do, but it also can help you mentally meet like-minded people who may well be on a journey with you at the same time in terms of getting fitter and losing weight. But even if they're not there and they are fit, skinny, healthy and young, they will probably love to share the thing that they're into with you, be it bouldering, be it, I don't know, anything physical. It is one of those things. There will be people out there paddleboarding. Sarah's met some great people through paddleboarding, you know, and it is one of those things that doing a physical activity, good for you physically, mentally, but also potentially good for you socially if you do it with a group of like-minded people who are there to enjoy themselves too. So that is a little bit of my review over the last year in terms of what I've been looking at, how I've been looking at this last year, and how it's helped me physically and also mentally over the last year. I am going to talk about the actual numbers in the next video in the review, but I just wanted to share this kind of year in review with you in terms of how I've been affected physically and mentally for this. And I'm going to talk numbers in the weekly video on Thursday. I hope you've enjoyed. As always, if you have enjoyed this, if it has been useful in any way, please do smash that like button, and I will speak to you in the next video.